Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to the live session on Score Booster for your upcoming SBI Clerks preliminary exam. I hope all of you are in good health and your preparation for this exam is in high gear. Right, and I am also sure that all of you must have completed your application for this exam already because the last date to apply was 10th of Feb. Right now, as usual in this Score Booster, again we'll be looking at a very important concept from the topic of quantitative aptitude, which when learnt thoroughly will help you solve many question types very easily. It becomes really very easy to understand the given question and then arrive at the answer without having to deal with complex formulae, right? But before we look into that, I would like to know from all of you about your preparation for SBI Clerks 2018. How's your preparation? Because I think it is more than 3 weeks now that the application or notification was released, and now that the application is also closed, I'm sure you must have got some sense of how to prepare, and you must be in a really good level of preparation. So before we start, why don't you just share with me about your preparation status for SBI Clerks exam. I see many of you have joined the chat here already. Sudhakar, and then we have Premashish, Praveen Kumar, Raja Nayak, Shiva Praveen and others. Good. So how is the preparation going? I'm hoping that these score boosters that we have brought for you are helping you boost your confidence and get a better grip on the concepts. But let me also tell you that just attending these score booster sessions is not going to help. You got to have a right preparation strategy, and you must prepare thoroughly outside these score boosters so that you can get ahead of the competition, right? Yeah, so I have got some feedback here, like it's going nice, it is at a very good level, and other such feedback. Okay, there's some more feedback here that the audio is playing but not the video. How is it possible? Somebody's mentioned that simplifications is difficult and he's practicing 2 hours every day on simplifications, working hard to improve speed and accuracy. Yeah, Saroj Sagar says that these sessions are really helpful and my preparation has got a boost up by these sessions. Okay, so there were some comments about the video quality here or video not being available. I don't see any problem at our end. It's going absolutely fine, right? Both the audio and the video. I would request you all to check the connectivity at your end, right? Yeah, and then we have one more feedback which says good but not sure. The preparation is going good but not sure, or Ajay says it's fine. All right, so well, I think it's high time that you have clarity about what to prepare and how to prepare, right? You must have your own preparation strategy because you have just about a month left, assuming that the exam happens in the mid of March, right? So you should approach the preparation with a proper strategy, otherwise you'll find yourselves in a no man's land, right? I mean, you should know what you need to do and plan it out in advance so that you can complete as much preparation as possible before you go for the D-Day. All right, so make sure that you get a good preparation strategy and get started with it. Now let's look at what are we going to do in this session today. So today's session, which is a score booster for your SBI Clerks 2018 exam, will be covering an important concept from arithmetic aptitude, which is average. Now, I'm sure all of you know about average, right? And you know the formula that that helps you calculate average of a given set of values, right? How do you find out average? Sum of all the values by number of values, right? And average, by the way, is a very important concept. I mean, you get questions from data interpretation which is based on average. You get questions on, of course, the topic of averages itself. Then there are many other topics where you may have to use the concept of average, right? Which, like you all must already know, is sum of all the values by number of values. But then if you look at our videos on the topic of average, TalentSprint's videos on topic of average, you will learn something new, right? What is that new thing that I'm referring to? Well, you will learn how to solve questions based on average without dealing with the formula. Without dealing with the formula, that is sum of all the values by number of values. So what really average is? Right? Well, formula is correct, sum of all the values by number of values, but what does average mean? See, understand, conceptually you can, keep it very simple. Average is an equal distribution. Average, in simple words, is an equal distribution of the resources that you have across or among the people that you have, right, or among the heads that you have, right? So in simple words, average is an equal distribution. Now let me explain this whole concept of equal distribution to you with the help of a simple example here, and I'm sure using this concept you will be able to solve the questions from this topic very, very easily without doing much of paperwork. Okay, so let me share the screen now and explain you what average is. Okay, so here we go. We are looking at the concept of average. Well, the formula says average is sum of all the values. Sum of all the values or observations by the total number of values. Okay, sum of all the values by number of values. This is how you calculate average. I'm sure all of you know the formula. Average is sum of all the values by the number of values, or sum of all the observations by the number of observations, right? But then if you look at it conceptually, average is, in simple words, an equal distribution. Average is an equal distribution. Okay, so I'm going to explain this concept of equal distribution to you now. So let's assume there are 4 friends, A, B, C and D. Right, 4 friends, A, B, C and D. Each one of them has got some amount of money with them. Let's say A has got rupees 60, B has got rupees 90, C has got rupees 50 and D has got rupees 40. Right, so A, B, C and D have got some amounts with them, 60, 90, 50 and 40. Right, now we have to find out what is the average amount that A, B, C, D have got altogether. Right, what is the average amount of money with these persons? Now going by the formula, average is sum of all the values. So what are the values here? 50, 60, 90, 50 and 40. So 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 40 upon the number of values. Total number of values are 4. So 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 40 divided by 4. So 60 plus 90 is 150, 150 plus 50 is 200, 200 plus 40, 240. 240 by 4 is rupees 60. So I can say that the average of this group here is rupees 60. Now what does this mean? Well, we have used the formula, of course, sum of all the values by total number of values, but what is the importance of, or what is the significance of this number 60 here? Well, it simply means that if I take all the amount, if I take all the money from each of these persons and try to distribute it equally among all 4 of them, each one would get rupees 60. Each one is going to get rupees 60. Like for example, if I take 60 from A, 90 from B, 50 from C and 40 from D, my total collection is going to be 240 rupees, what we saw in the numerator here, right? Total collection is going to be 240. Now I have to distribute this 240 equally among all 4. So each person would get 240 by 4, 60 rupees. That's what it means. Now whatever be the context, like here we are talking about 4 persons, it could be 4 subjects, like marks of a particular student in 4 subjects, maths, English, science and history. He has got 60 marks, 90 marks, 50 marks and 40 marks. What is his average score? 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 40 divided by 4. So his average score can be considered as 60. Now that average score again is nothing but an equal distribution of the total marks that he has scored. Equal distribution of the total marks that he has scored. Right, so on paper, theoretically we can say each person has got 60 rupees, while actual value will be different. B has got 90, which is more than 60. C and D have got 50 and 40, which is less than 60. Only A has got equal to 60, but on paper our understanding can be that each person here is worth 60 rupees, or they have got 60 rupees each. Now keeping this concept of equal distribution in mind, solving questions would become very easy. Like for example, let's look at different scenarios. What happens when a new person wants to join the group? A very popular question type from the topic of average in bank exams is when a new person joins the group, or one of the persons leaves the group. What happens in that case? So for example, let's say a new person joins the group and this person has got 60 rupees. He has got 60 rupees. What is going to be the average of the whole group now? What will be the average of the entire group? Now according to the formula, average is sum of all the values by total number of values. So I should be doing 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 40 plus the new value 60 divided by 5, which comes out to be 300. Total is 300, 300 by 5 is 60. But do I really need to do all this in the exam? No, not required. Why is it so? Understand. We already know that the average value for these 4 persons is 60 rupees, which means if a person joins this group with the same amount, will it impact the equal distribution? No. Will it be changing the equal distribution in any way? No. Right? In my understanding, already each person has got 60 rupees. Forget about the real values. Already each person has got 60 rupees. The fifth person E also joins with same 60 rupees. So do I have to worry about equal distribution? No. It's already equally distributed. Yes or no? The value of E is already equal to the equal distribution. So I don't have to worry. I can straight away say that the average is going to be 60 rupees in this case. The average value is going to be 60 rupees in this case. So we don't have to go by this formula. When will the average change? The average would change when E joins with a value less than or more than 60. Right? If E has got less than 60 or E has got more than 60. For example, let's assume E joins with rupees 30. E joins with rupees 30. Now what happens? E joins with rupees 30. Average of the group is 60. There are 4% in the group. What is the new average of the group? What is going to be the new average of the group? Now, according to the formula, we'll have to do 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 40 plus 30. The new value is 30, right? E has got 30. Forget about this case. This case is over now, right? We are looking at this case now. 30. So find out 60 plus 90, 150 plus 50, 200 plus 40, 240, 240 plus 30, 270. 270 divided by 5. This is going to be 54. The average is going to be 54. Which means when a new person joins the group with rupees 30, the average comes down to 54. The average comes down to 54. But do we really need to do all this in the exam? No. Go by the concept of equal distribution. Go by the concept of equal distribution. You can get the answer without using this formula. How does it help now? See, look at this. We know that the average for these persons, these 4 persons, is equal to 60 rupees. Average for these 4 persons is equal to 60 rupees. When E joins the group, he has got only 30. He has got only 30. See, if E has got 60 rupees, I will not have any problem. I can straight away make him join the group. If E comes with 60 rupees, we don't have any problem. It will not affect or impact the distribution. But since E has got less than 60, we'll have to take care of it. Now, what does it mean? Because E has come with 30 rupees, can I say we are short of 30 rupees here? Yes or no? E should have total 60, but he has got only 30 rupees. So how much is less? 30 rupees is less. Minus 30, I can say, minus 30. So what I'll do, I'll give 30 rupees from, for the sake of understanding, I will give 30 rupees to E from my pocket. Are you able to follow? I'll give 30 rupees to E from my pocket. It becomes 60. The moment E gets 60 rupees, he can join the group. Right? E gets 60 and he can become a part of the group. So now it's fine. Everybody has got 60 rupees. But there is a problem. What is the problem? I have lost 30 rupees from my pocket. Yes or no? I have lost 30 rupees from my pocket. This 30 rupees loss, right? This 30 rupees loss. Who should bear this loss? While it is because of E, remember, average is always about distributing it equally. So only one person has come with 30 rupees less, but I should distribute this 30 rupees of loss equally among all the 5 persons. So what do? I'll divide 30 rupees by 5 persons. How much is 30 by 5? 6 rupees. Or minus 30 by 5 to be precise is minus 6 rupees. Yes or no? Which means I'll collect 6 rupees from each of these persons, each of these 5 persons. How much do they have already? They already have 60 rupees each. Remember, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Forget about the real values. Equal distribution was 60. This person came with 30, but I gave 30 rupees from my pocket and made him join the group. So everybody has got equal amount of 60 rupees. But there is a loss of 30. And when I distribute this loss equally among all the 5 persons, I'll get 6 rupees from each of the persons. So each person pays me 6 rupees. 6 into 5, 30. I'll get back my 30 rupees and the distribution is also equal. What happens? They will give me 6 rupees each. So they had 60 rupees already. We have to subtract 6 from that. How much will this be? 54. 54 rupees. See, that's what we had got here, 54 rupees. But then without using any formula. You're getting it? I know this is a very simple concept. Most of you would already know about it, but those who are not aware of this should learn this concept and get a thorough understanding of how this works. Because if you can play with this value using the concept of equal distribution, solving questions will become really very easy. You're able to follow? Now let's see what happens if E has got more money. Let's say E joins the group with 120 rupees. E joins the group with 120 rupees. What happens in this case? What happens in this case? Again, I'll not have to go by the regular formula. Simple understanding. I know that the equal distribution of the group of 4 persons is 60 rupees. Each person here has got 60 rupees. 60, 60, 60 and 60. But E has got how much? 120. Can I make him join the group directly? No. It will be imbalanced. Average, remember, is equal distribution. It is currently imbalanced. What will I do? I'll take 60 rupees from E. I'll keep that in my pocket. So my profit is this time 60 rupees. Remember, earlier it was a loss. I made a loss of 30 rupees because I gave 30 rupees from my pocket. This time, I'll take 60 rupees from E. I'll say, give me 60 rupees. I'll get 60 rupees in my pocket. Now, what is left with E? E has got his 60 rupees. He can now join the group without any problem because already the distribution is 60. He has also got 60. Right? He has got 60 rupees. So can he join the group? Yes. So what is the equal distribution of the group? The equal distribution of the group is 60 rupees. There are 5 persons. Each person has got 60 rupees. But then there is a problem. What is the problem? I have got 60 rupees from one of these persons and I should not be keeping it in my pocket, right? I should give it back. Give it back to whom? Actually, it belongs to E. But again, understand, I am repeating multiple times, average is equal distribution. Whether it is loss or profit, it should be distributed equally among all the persons. It should be distributed equally among all the persons. So what happens? E has given me 60 rupees. I'll distribute the 60 rupees equally among 5 persons. All the 5 persons. What is 60 by 5? 12. Plus 12 to be specific here, right? Plus 60 by 5 plus 12. They already have 60 rupees each. They already have 60 rupees each. Now each person has got 12 rupees because of this new person joining the group. So 60 plus 12, 72. So the average now becomes 72 rupees. 72 rupees. So this is how you can use the concept of equal distribution in finding out what happens when a person joins a group. Now he may have a value which is equal to the average of the group or a value which is more or less than the average of the group. I have taken an example of money here. It can be weight, it can be age. Usually it is about weights and ages, right? A 5th person joins the group whose age is, let's say, 54 years, right? What will be the new average age of the group? What do? Don't worry about the basic formula. Just find out what is the profit or loss that you have made there. Plus or minus, right? Get the difference. And distribute that equally among all the persons, you're done. You recall one very popular question type from average, right? It's about a class of students where a teacher's age is included or a teacher's age is excluded. So the moment you include or exclude the teacher's age, there's a change in the average of the group. And based on that change, we have to figure out what is the age of the teacher. Simple. Just play with the concept of equal distribution. It becomes very easy for you to calculate. Similarly, what happens when a person leaves the group? Let's look at that as well, right? Let me take up that concept. So I'm only explaining the concept. I'm not taking up any example today. I'm sure you should be able to use this concept in solving the different question types that we get in average. Of course, when we meet in the next score booster, we can take up a few questions. But for today, let me just explain this concept. So we have already understood how the average changes when a new person joins the group. Let us now see how will it impact when a person leaves the group. So here are 4 persons. These are the 4 persons. What is their average? 60. We already know that their average is 60 rupees. Okay. Now what happens when they leave the group? So average is 60 for these 4 persons. Now, who should leave the group? One of the persons has left the group, let's say. Let's say B has left the group. What happens? See, on paper, theoretically, every person has got 60 rupees. So B leaves the group. If B leaves with 60 rupees, there won't be any problem. Like for example, let's say A leaves the group. Forget about B. Let's say A is leaving the group. What happens if A leaves the group? The average of the group is 60 rupees. The average of the 4 persons is 60 rupees. A has got how much? 60. He is leaving the group. Will it impact? No. Because the rest of the 3 persons have got 60 rupees each. A has not taken anything extra with him, right? Nor has he left anything behind for the group. Yes or no? A has got 60, he has left with the 60. So no problem. Average still remains 60 only. Right? So if A leaves the group, average remains unchanged. But what happens when B leaves the group? For example, let's assume B leaves the group. Now will there be a change in the average when B leaves the group? Yes. Why? Because B has actually got 90 rupees. See, B will not, give his amount to the group, right? He will collect his 90 rupees and go back. He will say, boss, give me my 90 rupees. I am leaving the group. Now what happens when B left the group? See, calculate the new average. He's asking us to find out the new average. Ideally, how would you do? You will take the new average as 60 plus 50 plus 40 divided by 3. I am not considering B's values here. He has got 60, C has got 50, D has got 40. Divided by 3. Why? There are only 3 persons. Sum of all the values by number of values. The same formula. So 60 plus 50 is 110. 110 plus 40 is 150. 150 by 3 is 50. So I can say if B leaves the group, the average of the remaining group is going to be 50. But do I have to do all this in the exam? No. How can I make it simple? Look at this. See, B has got 90. Let me break this 90 rupees into 2 parts. 60 and 30. If B leaves with 60 rupees, I don't have any problem. If B is leaving only with 60 rupees, we don't have any problem. But B is leaving with 30 rupees extra. B says, this 30 rupees belongs to me, give it back. B leaves with 30 rupees extra, which means this 30 is a loss to the group, right? The group has lost 30 rupees. As such, not a loss. It did not belong to the group. But for our understanding, the group has lost 30 rupees. 30 rupees more than what it was supposed to lose. If one person goes, that person is supposed to take only 60, but this person took 90, which means my loss is 30 rupees. Whose loss is 30 rupees? The group's loss is 30 rupees. So that 30 rupees loss minus 30 should be divided equally. Among how many persons? Only 3 persons. Remember, B is leaving the group. B is leaving the group. Like in the previous case, we were dividing by 5 always because a new person has joined. Now one person is left. Only 3 persons are there. So this 30 rupees loss will be borne by whom? Will be borne by each of these 3 persons equally. So 30 by 3 is 10, which means each person will lose 10 rupees. So they had 60 rupees already, 60, 60, 60. They will give me 10, 10, 10. So what will be the new average? The new average will be 50. 60 minus 10, 50. It will be 60 minus 10, 50. You're able to follow. Similarly, let's say D leaves the group. What happens when D leaves the group? Not B. Right? Let's not say B, but D has left the group. This time D leaves the group. If D is leaving with 60 rupees, there is no problem. But D has left with 40 rupees, which means he left 20 rupees for the group. Now, don't get confused as to where did this 20 rupees come from. Actually, D has got 40, he is leaving with his 40 rupees. But on paper, our consideration was D has also got 60. We distributed equally, right? D had got 60. So, but while D will have 60 rupees on his name, while leaving, he will take only 40. So, that 20 rupees will be left behind. Because that 20 rupees belongs to the group only, group of these 3 persons. So divide 20 by 3, 20 by 3, 6.66. So what happens? The group already has 60 rupees each. And now they have got 6.66. Why? Because D left the group. And D had a lower value, which means he will leave something behind for the group. So 60 plus 6.66, the new average is going to be 66.66. The new average is going to be 66.66. You're getting it? So this concept, I know it's very simple. Many of you will be like, okay, we already know this. What is new about it? Yeah, so those who know the concept, I'm sure will not find anything interesting here. But for those who have not been aware of this, I think they should learn it thoroughly, practice a few more questions, and try and apply it in every question that you solve from average. Well, again, let me be very honest. We cannot solve every question from average based on this understanding of equal distribution. But most of the questions can be solved easily if you are thorough with this whole idea of equal distribution. All you have to check is, with one person leaving the group or one person joining the group, how is it going to impact the whole business? You're able to follow. Now, it could be person, it could be days. Like sometimes they talk about, I remember one of the questions that was asked in fact, an SBI Clerks exam, not now, 3-4 years ago, was about temperatures of 7 days of a week. So temperature of the first 3 days is given, temperature of last 3 days is given, and the temperature for the whole week is given. You're getting it? Average temperature for first 3 days, average temperature for the last 3 days, and the average temperature of the whole week is given. He's asking us to find out the temperature for the 4th day. Now, usually we say total temperature, average temperature of all the 7 days multiplied by 7 minus average temperature of first 3 days multiplied by 3 minus average temperature of last 3 days multiplied by 3 will give me the answer. But smart students will not do all that drama, right? We don't have to do all that calculation. Just go by the concept of equal distribution. It becomes very easy to solve. Let me take one example of that type as well, so that you know how to apply this concept of equal distribution, right? So let me just write a question on averages here. Right? Sorry. Okay, so let's say what the question is. I have to think of a question. Let me take a similar example, right? Average temperature of week. So the average temperature of first 3 days of a week is 32 degrees, and the average temperature of last 3 days of the same week is 29 degrees. What is the temperature of the 4th day, let's say, if the average temperature of the whole week is let's say 30 degrees or 30.5 degrees to make it a little complex in terms of calculation, right? So the average temperature of first 3 days of a week is 32. The average temperature of last 3 days of the same week is 29. What is the temperature of the fourth day if the average temperature of the whole week is 30.5 degrees? I will leave you with this question for about 1 minute. All of you start working on it and get me the answer. Then we will see how to solve it using equal distribution. Quick, your clock starts now. Let me do one thing. I'll just do a small change. Let me change 30.5 to 31. Sorry. Let me change it to 31. I'm changing it. Or we can take 31.5. Not a problem. Let's take 31.5. I was thinking on the feed, so didn't give you good values. But yeah, now it's better. Try it out. The average temperature of the whole week is 31.5. Try this now. Okay, I've got answers here. Answers, JSKJ says it should be 37.5. Raja Roy Chaudhary has also got 37.5. Shailesh has got 33. Then we have Pooja Khatri, who's got 37.5. Exam Use has got 37.5. Ajay Kumar, Dushyant, yeah, and many others have got 37.5. 15 more seconds and then we'll take it up. 15 more seconds before we take up the solution. Yeah, many of you have got 37.5. We have also got answers like 27.5 and 33 coming from various other students here. All right, let's solve this now. So let me give you the solution. Here we go. Look at the solution. How do we solve this? Now, the question says average temperature of first 3 days of a week is 32 and the average temperature of last 3 days of the same week is 29. What is the temperature of the fourth day if the average temperature of the whole week is 31.5? I know, I'm hoping all of you know the regular way of solving it, right? What is the conventional method? The conventional method is as follows, right? What is the total temperature of all the 7 days? See, we have learned already that average is equal to sum of all the values by the number of values, right? The number of values, sum by the number of values. So here the number of values are going to be 7. if there are 7 days in a week, right? So first of all, let us find out the total sum of the temperature of all the 7 days. Sum of the temperature of the 7 days. How would you get that? The average temperature for 7 days is 31.5. So 31.5 multiplied by 7. Now this will be 210. 1.5 into 7 is 10.5. So 210 plus 10.5, 220.5. The total temperature of all the 7 days is 220.5, right? Sum of the temperatures. Then find out the sum of the temperatures of the first 3 days. What is the sum of the temperature of first 3 days? The average temperature of first 3 days is 32. So what will be the total temperature? 32 into 3. 32 into 3 will be 96. Then find out the sum of the temperature of the last 3 days. How much will that be? See, for the last 3 days, the average is 29. Since it is for 3 days, multiply by 3. 29 into 3. 29 times 3 is 87. Now, clearly, from 7 days, if I subtract the first 3 days and the last 3 days, I'll be left with the fourth day. So, I can say the temperature of the fourth day will be equal to 220.5 minus 96 minus 87. Simplify this. 96 and 87 is 183, right? 183. So, basically, 220.5 minus 183. 220 minus 183 is 37. 37.5. This is going to be 37.5. So, the temperature of the fourth day is 37.5. Yes or no? I can see many of you have done this. Like Pankaj had just commented 220.5 minus 183 will give us 37.5. Right. Correct answer. 37.5 is the correct answer. Method is also correct. But do we have so much time in the exam? No. Or when there is a better way of solving it, why should we waste our time in doing all this nonsense? So let me explain you the same thing in a smart way now, right? So I'll use a different color to explain the smart solution. Here we go. Now lack of space, I'm writing the smart solution on top of the screen. Just try and follow this. Again, you don't actually have to write all these steps. You can cut down the number of steps. Even in this case, you can cut down the number of steps. But let me explain. See, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm doing all this only for your clear understanding. Otherwise, you need not put all this on paper. Saturday and Sunday. Right? Saturday and Sunday. These are the days. Now, what is the temperature of the first 3 days? Average temperature is 32. Now, average temperature is 32 does not mean that each day's temperature is 32. Some days could be more than 32. Few days could be less than 32. Maybe some days are equal to 32. But like I said, our understanding is what? If average is 32, everything is 32. So I'll say Monday is 32, Tuesday is 32, Wednesday is also 32. Similarly, the average temperature of last 3 days, he says is 29. So actually it could be different on different days, but equal distribution concept. So 29, 29, 29. So first 3 days 32, last 3 days 29. Now temperature of the fourth day, we have to find out temperature of Thursday. If the average temperature of the whole week is 31.5. If the average temperature of the whole week is 31.5, meaning each day is supposed to be 31.5, 31.5, 31.5, 31.5. Thursday also is supposed to be 31.5, 31.5, 31.5, 31.5. This is the question. I mean, you will not be writing this in the exam. This is just the question, right? Now, let's see how do you do it in a smart way. Simple. Understand, I am supposed to give, there are 7 persons. I am supposed to give 31.5 rupees to each one of them. I am supposed to give 31.5 rupees to each one of them. What happened? The first 3 persons took 32, 32, 32. I have only budget of 31.5 for each person. But the first 3 persons took 32, 32, 32. So what is my loss? 0.5 rupees. 0.5 rupees, 0.5 rupees. So what is the total loss? See, that's how you find out question mark. So I'll say question mark is equal to, how much am I supposed to give to question mark? 31.5. But the first 3 persons took 8 ana extra, right? I mean, those who understand Hindi, each one of them have taken 50 paisa extra, the first 3 persons. So what is my total loss? Minus 0.5 into 3. Yes or no? They took 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 extra. But then on the other side, when I came to the last 3 persons, they took only 29, 29, 29. Which means I saved how much? 2.5 rupees per person. I was supposed to give him 31.5, but Friday said, no, I want only 29. So I saved 2.5 rupees. Saturday also helped me save 2.5 rupees. Sunday helped me save 2.5 rupees. This Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday gave me a loss of 0.5. Yes or no? Loss of 0.5. So loss of 0.5 into 3 and profit of 2.5 into 3 plus 2.5 into 3. Now this overall loss or profit is not my loss or profit. It will go to Thursday. If there is a loss, Thursday will bear the loss. If there is a profit, Thursday will get the profit. Actually Thursday is supposed to get 31.5. But then this is the, these are the discrepancies that we have because of the first 3 and last 3 days. Now do the calculation. 0.5 into 3, 1.5. 2.5 into 3, 7.5. 7.5 is plus, 1.5 is minus. Plus 7.5 minus 1.5 is plus 6. So it is plus 6. 31.5 plus 6. How much is that? 37.5. And look at this. Same answer, 37.5. But look at the number of steps and in fact the amount of calculation that we need to do. Did we do anything like 31.5 into 7 or 32 into 3 or 29 into 3? No. Our calculations were 0.5 into 3. 2.5 into 3. That's it. I'm sure you will not be writing this in the exam, right? Don't think that this is a lengthy solution because you have to write Monday to Sunday, then write all the values, then write the average value, put a question mark and all that. You're not going to do all this in the exam. All you will write in the exam is 31.5 minus 0.5 into 3 plus 2.5 into 3. Are you able to follow? 37.5 is the answer. So why should I put pen on paper or do such complex calculations? You're able to follow? See, this is just a very simple example that I've taken, but even other complex questions, other difficult questions from average can be answered using this simple concept of equal distribution. So next time if somebody is asking you or somebody asks you what is average, don't say sum of all the values by number of values. Even 4th class, 5th class standard, not 4th, 5th standard, but 8th, 9th standard students will say sum of all the values by number of values. You should say average is an equal distribution. Average is an equal distribution. I repeat, not every question from average can be solved using equal distribution technique, right? Some questions will need you to use the other concepts involved, but then most of the questions can be visualized very easily if you go by equal distribution. Just compare this example that we have taken, right? The conventional method would take about 30 seconds, not lengthy, it will take about 30 seconds. But if a smart method is giving you the answer in 8 seconds, why do you want to spend 30 seconds? Every second counts in your exam, right? Each second is like gold, and you cannot be wasting your precious time like this in the exam. All right, so on that note, let me close it here. Thank you all for joining us in this session. I hope all of you have enjoyed. You can learn more about this concept and the other concepts of average by watching our videos on the topic of average, which is available for TalentSprint students. So you can explore our programs on talentsprint.com/bank. And yes, don't forget to join us for these score boosters every day at 4 p.m. And the simplest way to keep yourselves informed is to subscribe to our channel and get notified about all the live sessions and the videos that we upload. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and yes, keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Take care.